previous speakers, and that just demonstrates that here in the RGV, we are united, we work collectively, whether it's the city, county, RMA, MPO, TxDOT. Words like partnership, regionalization, improved communication are some of the things that are utilized to help prioritize the various needs here in our region. Some of you have seen this map before, and really, it's up there. I could talk for an hour more on this map. So many projects to talk about. That represents about 11 to 11.5 billion dollars worth of needs here in our region. We were blessed to have 3.6 billion part of the 2024 UTP. And you may think that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But when it comes to transportation infrastructure, that's good, but we need more. What do I mean by that? The blue up there represent projects that have been identified but are not yet funded. Projects in orange are projects that are partially funded, and projects in green are projects that are already funded. Here recently, we broke the $1 billion threshold when it comes to construction dollars, and that is outstanding for our region. Our goal is to continue to let projects in a timely manner. In the next 4 years, we have programmed $2.8 billion to go to construction. We can't do that by ourselves. We need our partners to make that happen. From the project delivery perspective, we work with our consultants to do the project development, but also the construction inspection, if you will. But I want to reiterate the importance of the partnership that we have with our communities. From Sullivan City, Rio Grande City area, if you will, to Brownsville, about 100 miles. There's 32 cities that touch Interstate 2, USA 3, I-69E. And so what does that mean? About every 3 to 4 miles on average, it's another city limit. That is a tremendous challenge for us when it comes to communication and ensuring that all our partners are working together. These projects increase safety, improve mobility, improve connectivity for our entire region. And as Sam Bale mentioned earlier in one of his comments about the communities in between, right? And so we talk about the RGV and Laredo on the USA 3 corridor, for example. But what about all those communities in between that are being affected by USA 3 in the future I-2? So it is imperative that we continue to recognize their needs too. Economic impact is a large portion of what we do here at TxDOT. Safety, mobility, connectivity, they're right there. But economic impact, and we recognize it. If you build it, they will come, is the old saying. And by golly, we have seen that time and time again. And we'll continue and strive to make sure that we are prioritizing the various needs within our region. Typically, when we talk the valley, people think north-south. 77, US 281, US 83, I-69E, I-69C, I-2. But I want to recognize that Andrew brought up the point of approximately or estimated 1.8 million in population. That means we have to traverse east and west as well. And so we're looking at I-2 currently carrying about 160,000 average daily traffic. In a couple of years, folks, we're going to be congested. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And so we're working with our various partners to ensure that we're looking at US 281 military as a 4-lane divided highway, as an example. Andrew mentioned the I-69 connector to provide that connectivity east and west. Why is that important? When you look at the freight and trade, 14 points of entry in the Pharr District that are interconnected, if you will, one way or another. So yes, there is a challenge, and the challenge is getting the goods across that point of entry. But once it gets here, we need to look at 3P, the third-party logistics, if you will. How do we split those loads? How do we ensure that they're being delivered in a timely manner? And how do we ensure that they're safely getting to an interstate? Because at the end of the day, folks, it needs to get to an interstate. So projects like the IBTC, International Bridge Strait Corridor, are imperative, if you will. In conjunction with the 365 tollway, these projects are going to connect 5 ports of entry to the interstate and get them off the FM roadways. The FM roadways that have communities with lots of schools, basically commercial properties and things of that nature. We need to be able to move freight and trade to the interstate in an efficient manner. Projects like these will make that happen. If you look at, and I mentioned the east and west, but Routes like State Loop 195, which is the US 83 relief route in Stark County, from Roma, Escobar, Rio Grande, and La Ruya, basically into Hidalgo County. Projects like that, IBTC has previously mentioned, and then East Loop. East Loop, Eddie Capriano talked a little bit about that, Pizza Pulver as well. The opportunity to connect the Port of Brownsville to Matamoros, if you will, another port of entry. So as we move forward, these are just some of the examples of the many, many challenges that we face here in Pharr. But I'm very proud to say that as your district engineer, we're working very, very closely with all of our partners. And I want to continue that communication as we look at funding, and Chairman Canales mentioned it earlier, funding is critical. But our job at TxDOT is to ensure project delivery, to deliver the transportation system that we need for our region. And this infrastructure can only be done if we're all working together, taking responsibility and prioritizing the highest needs. The MPO has done a really good job of making sure that we identify what those priorities are, and in conjunction with TxDOT, we'll continue to deliver those projects. I'm very excited for our future. 3.6 billion that are coming our way, outstanding. I think we need a little bit more, that's represented by the blue in that map. And as we move forward, I believe that our region will continue to grow and be a lifeline, not only for the U.S., but the rest of the U.S. Not only for Texas, but the rest of the U.S. And I think Mexico to Canada. I'll pause to see if there are any questions, not maybe, but I